Nigeria hired DCI Group for a $9 million lobbying contract. This is the largest known African lobbying contract in history, on record. The Nigerian state is very weak and very hypocritical. That is the issue here. This lobbying effort will not work.
Said, rather than lobbying yesterday, why don't we fix our problems? And I'll give you an instance. On the 3rd of January 2026, the story emerged around the 4th and the 5th of January. Another attack happened in Kwasan Daji markets. Several people were killed, about 37 to 42. But the interesting part is, several others were abducted, numbers not known. But let me excite you even more. Some of the students from Papiri that were recently released were re-abducted. Till date, we have not seen any measure by the government to release them. But we are shelling out over $1 billion in lobbying. I want you to talk as regards priorities. Then secondly, why this company? Who approved or made the approval for them as regards the money? How was the money transferred? Who were the receiving group in America? Who are the contact person? Can the lobbying group give us a profile of how they are executing? Or these things are beyond the realms of state secrets?
Well, Dr. Fagbemi, you must have been following the controversy. I was saying yesterday that it's a legitimate thing for a government to lobby. It's a tested, established tradition in the United States, just so that your own side of the story can be heard, and not just one side being heard. So you lobby, you put your story out there through various means, through contacts, agents. But some Nigerians are saying that this looks extravagant, that Nigeria is going to spend, I think in total about, is it $9 million, 4.5 plus 4.5, about that, $9 million. But what do you think? Do you think the Nigerian government should just fold its arms while, it's been discredited in major centers, major capitals of the world?
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. Ordinarily, lobbying is not a bad idea in terms of engaging stakeholders. However, when you put it in perspective, we are dealing with a situation that when you do lobby, you want to provide additional data which may help to corroborate, validate, verify, or otherwise determine. In this case, where you're talking about the U.S. government relating with the Nigerian state, the first question you need to ask is, how do you understand the access and capacity of the United States to gather information and data to process, to reinforce their own foreign policy regarding your country? If there was no poverty of intellectualism and rigors of analytic capacity on this part of the Nigerian state, it would have been open to us that the United States government already has multiple sources of gathering data concerning the Nigerian state. There is the United States government, federal government of Nigeria relations at the diplomatic, the military, and through a series of overseas development assistance programs, which allows them to access official data and to interact with state actors within the Nigerian space. Because the folks that were talking from the United States aren't enough data. Mind you, you equally have the diaspora component resident in the United States, and you have the information sharing between U.S. government and EU countries that fall into NATO, and you have the media access. And one of the few things that we must never forget is that a number of data that are used by international and foreign missions all over the world are open source, and they are media based, like Arise, that they can easily monitor and collate data from. And then you have the social media platforms, and when you're talking about the social media platforms, you'll be talking in terms of Facebook, WhatsApp, you'll be talking in terms of Snapchat, Instagram, and the like. It should interest us to note that X, that formerly was Twitter, we have 7.5 million Nigerians that are subscribed to X, and we have 48.7 million Nigerians on Facebook. On Instagram, we already have 9.9 to 12.6 million. TikTok, we have 37.4 million. On WhatsApp, we have 51 million penetration in terms of subscription, and we have Snapchat, YouTube, and all others. Now, if the US government that we know and the way they take serious information, media monitoring, gathering, and data analysis, we are already aware that they will have more than enough information. So when you are now pushing a lobby project, it means that you must be mindful that whatsoever you are going to be presenting to them will not really affect their decision making. The foreign policy framework of the United States is already cast in such a way that such lobby will not really make any significant input.